Welcome to this edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. I'm Mike Stidham, and I'm joined by a much better looking, a much better dressed version of the old guy. Got your back, Gary. What's going on, man?
Well, I appreciate that intro. You know, I'm just out here joining the show, deciding I think I want to become a part of this every week. What do you think about that?
Got your back, Gary. If you haven't seen him cage side, when you watch the show, he's there every week, and we lured him up into the cage. He's going to be part of the crew. And Gary, I'm excited to have you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. You know, I understand that I have to cut back on my drinking if I'm going to be here in the ring, though.
Well, you know, it is very strongly advised, my man. Let's talk about some fights tonight. We got a lot of newcomers, but we got some guys that have been around as well. But your main event is a fight that I know you and I are both excited about. We've been watching these guys backstage. It looks like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, those guys look like a couple animals back there ready to get going. You got Johnny Kafer and Jarome Hatch, and they're looking at each other. I mean, one's a wrestler and one's a scrapper, and you think that they're just going to go at it right now, but I'm looking forward to that fight coming up.
It's going to go down. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience coming right at you. In your light heavyweight division, got a couple guys coming out here. Bru Baker trains at the Ultimate Combat Training Center, a very good friend of mine. Good-looking kid. Who's he fighting?
Well, he's fighting Tim Lund right now. We've seen, you know, Tim Lund pushes forward. He's a street fighter, kind of a knucklehead type, one of those type I wouldn't want to scrap in school. But, you know, he just isn't putting it together. You
kind of just get the sense that the elevator doesn't go all the way to the top with him, and maybe Bru can knock some sense into him. Light heavyweight and holds barred. Check it out.
Gary, I think that is a perfect description of Tim Lund. He's a kid that you just wouldn't want to fight on the schoolyard, but right. You know, he just hasn't really put it together in the cage.
Nah, he's probably the only kid I didn't want to fight on the schoolyard.
You know, he's probably still hanging out in the schoolyard, Tim Lund. 5'9", 195 pounds, goes by the nickname of Showtime.
Okay, what I've been doing is I've been down at 24-hour fitness for the past months of my last fight training. I've been working on my condition, my cardio. I've been doing everything. I feel a lot more conditioned, you know. I lost a little bit of fat off my body, so I'm going to try to come in here and see what I can do, you know. I'd like to send my message to my opponent. Thanks for fighting. I'm glad we're fighting. Now I got a paycheck.
You know, Gary, if this were a cardio kickboxing contest, 24-hour fitness might have been the right place to train.
You know what? We should call him Sexy Time now.
Yeah, well, he is Sexy Time. That hair's receding on him just a little bit. Bru Baker, on the other hand, this guy has great bone structure. Would you not agree?
Look at that face. That was like a blue steel.
6'1", 205 is Bru Baker.
What have I been doing to prepare for this one? Honestly, I haven't been training much for this one. So, been doing a lot of swimming and relaxing. Yeah, I hope he brought plenty of gauze and plenty of ice, because he's going to need it.
Chewing the hell out of that gun there. You know, hey, if this was a swim contest, Bru would be ready to go as well.
He doesn't even need a cap.
I don't really understand the training regimen these guys adhere to. I really don't understand their approach to. You're going to get into a fist fight. Why not train fighting?
Yeah, you know what? You can swim, though.
Well, all right. If this fight breaks out into a swim contest, Bru has got the upper hand. Now, Bru's throwing a big right hand over the top and landing it right on the jaw.
He's using that jab pretty good.
Well, he's not really landing a lot of stuff. They're getting out there, but I'm not really sure what Tim Lund's doing.
Got a nice right cross over the top. Stun him a little bit.
It's hard to tell Tim Lund's stunned look from his regular look.
You know what? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that would stun him.
We're not very confused there.
I think Tim's a little more. He's probably seeing things a little more clear now.
Now he's got his look. He's got his moves on.
All right. Well, this has kind of been a lot of the same thing over and over so far. And the one big shot that Bru did land, there's another one. It really did affect Tim Lund. You know, there again, I think Tim Lund's doing the same thing over and over, and just kind of the definition of madness here.
I'm pretty sure we're watching last fight, aren't we?
This is the same thing he did last time he fought. Yeah,
exactly. He'll push him away here. He does get that pad. No,
I'm not sure how much that push away
we get a little knee in there
on the judge's scorecard, but Bru Baker has systematically just been kind of 1-2-ing his way through this fight, and seems like a track meet almost. They run around the cage quite a bit.
Well, you know, Bru Baker is a swimmer now, so maybe he's taking a track as well. That's a triathlon thing.
Well, you get him on a bike and he's good to go. All right, well, I just see a lot of things here in Tim Lund's game that he's got to go work on, and I just don't think he's going to get it at the 24-hour fitness.
I'm pretty sure, you know, Bru Baker's not being pushed here, so we're not going to see any extreme fighting.
Well, Bru Baker has definitely pushed the action, and I really like what I have seen in that he's been very disciplined. He's not trying to go for that big knockout punch, you know, leaving himself exposed. He's kind of taking his time and trying to get in there, and boy, that knee was a big one. And Bru's really starting to now dismantle anything that Tim Lund had.
You're right, Mike, but I'm pretty sure he can probably use his new moves that he's been working on in this. His head's down. Tim Lund's head's down at least. Well,
I think that's it. I think Dave Seljested is going to mercifully step in here. Well, no, he's not. He's just not allowing Bru to strike a down fighter, and then, well, I guess change his mind and said this fight's over.
Pretty sure his corner came in and said we're done.
Tim probably said, you know what, I've had enough. I've taken enough shots here. Bru Baker looks like he got cracked a couple of times in the face there. Serves him right.
Yeah, I did see him throw that left hook. Well, it was a wild left hook.
All right, well, with the raise of the hand, Dave Seljested says the Widowmaker, Bru Baker, is your winner tonight, and Bru's pretty happy about that. Probably going to be the first guy in line to get himself a beer when he's done here.
Well, we're going to have to call Tim next showtime.
Try next showtime. Tyler Ayers Law Firm is a proud sponsor of the UCE. Call them for legal help at 255-5555.
All right, Tim, what happened out there? Looked like you were fighting back, doing pretty good, and then looks like the referee stopped the fight. What happened?
For some reason, I just keep, my body keeps tensing up, you know? And just like everything for like fight, I don't know if I'm drinking enough fluids or I need Gatorade, but I just, my right leg just kept twitching, you know, like, you know, not having enough water and stuff, so. You know, then I started running out, and I thought, oh, gosh. And I seen him been training with Crispin and the other guy, and I thought, you know what, this could be a good fight. You know, and I just try to just let it to him, you know. I'm not going to be as good as I should be. And, you know, like tonight, it's just, you know, a nice paycheck, but I'm going to come back. You know, I know he's got a little cut in his eye, but he got me pretty good. You know, he's got the speed on him, you know. And what it takes, just us getting out here and just keep working. I'm just going to keep working at it.
Well, that's good. That's what we like to hear. You did really good, though, tonight. Yeah. So thanks for being here. And tonight you were good, just not good enough, okay?
I'm still trying, you know, it takes time, but, you know, you learn, you gotta train with someone, you know, you can't just show up and just go to the spa. It takes some commitment. I knew once he's been training with Sugarloaf, he's the big time showtime tonight.
That's right, but you will be next time, so.
I will be back, you know, I just gotta just, you know, the thing is that the last fight was kind of bloody, but I got a lot of respect for this guy, you know. You know, it makes me want to go train, you know, we'll all be training together, you know.
All right, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, okay? Yeah. Thank you.
This post-fight interview brought to you by Aztec Highway. Get it your way at the highway, WDFA.
Bru, I've been doing this a long time, and never have I seen more women like in ecstasy watching a man fight. I mean, you've got literally an entire stage of women up there. Right. Yes, Bru, what is your secret, man?
I've been told that I have really good bone structure.
You have been told that, and I was there when you were told that, Bru, and among other things, Bru, you do have great bone structure, by the way. Somebody jacked a little bit of it up tonight, though.
That's what happens when you get cocky. I was getting a little too cocky. Let him sneak a couple in on me. Yeah.
You know, you got to make it fair, right?
Yeah, scars add character, though, and I got a lot of that.
No, when I say fair, you're making it fair for the rest of us, because we're trying to meet some girls, too, Bru, and you've got them all.
I got it.
So we're trying to mess up your mug just a little bit, so me and Crispin got a shot, and I appreciate you doing that.
No problem.
All right, buddy. Bru, what's next for you, man?
Next, I want to do another fight towards the end of February. I've got some family coming in from Florida. Really excited to see me, so let's just plan on that. I'll keep training, and we'll do it again.
I like where your head's at, man. Nice job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bru Baker coming away with a big win.
Well, you know what, Tim Lund did get a couple of those shots in, didn't he?
He did, and I tell you, Bru ain't never going to live that down back at the gym. We got more of the Ultimate Combat. Stick around. In your lightweight division, we got a couple guys we've never seen before, Lance Snider and Jared Stock. What do you know about these guys, Jared?
All I know is when I saw him in the back, I thought, man, those are a couple good-looking guys, better looking than me.
Well, Jared, that's not saying much tonight, man. Got to do something about to do. All right, lightweight, first-timers, check it out.
Yeah, these guys got nothing on you, man. Nothing.
You know what? Now that I take a better look, they're better looking than you, though.
All right. Well, the Warhorse, Lance Snider's first to enter the cage, and this kid, they are very high on. They're big on him. They say he's going to really do some damage here in the show. 5'10", 155, and he looks like he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, squinty.
Squinty, right. Well, Jared Beanstalk, you know, we call him Beanstalk because beans are little, and these guys are both little.
Well, you know what? I like to cook soup.
Cook soup? All right, well, 5'11", 150 is Jared Stock now. Again, this is a kid he's from the Tooele area. I believe he lives in Grantsville, and all his friends say this kid's just tough as nails.
And they all came to watch him tonight.
There are a lot of them here. There's no doubt about it. He has a no short supply of support, and I think this is going to be a good one, Gary. Again, looking at these two, they both look like they came to the show fit. They both look like they know what they're doing here. So
yeah, they do, Mike.
Should be interesting. Oh, well, as soon as I say that, this fight could be over.
No. You know what? Look at this. We got some good positioning here, good posture.
Well, Beanstalk landed a pretty good shot there. Now he is on his back and trying to pull guard. But again, here are these guys that are not, well, he's been mounted, but these are a couple guys that actually seem to understand position for their first time coming into the cage. That says a lot here in this show.
He's got his head there, right there. You know, if he positions himself, push himself right.
You can't really do much if you're mounted. You should let go of the head and try to improve your position. To try to pull a guillotine choke off when you're being mounted, that's a mistake there.
Exactly. You know, he's in a good position to get a cross face and get himself out of that row easy.
Well, you know, he just needs to let go of the head. Because I'll tell you what, holding on to the head right now is going to do nothing but kind of agitate your opponent and really make your arms tired.
Exactly.
So let go of the head. It's my biggest piece of advice. And
coming from you, you know, you did take that gold medal, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, he was able to get a reversal out of it, you know, and that's really one of those things that maybe you're not supposed to be able to do, but he did, and there you go. And I think a lot of that has to do with this kid looks strong as an ox, but he did leave something behind.
Yeah, he left that arm behind, didn't he?
Left the arm, and now he's looking at a potential triangle. And one way that I've always said to get out of a triangle is to punch your way out of it.
Or this is a good way.
This is another pretty good way. And he was able to do that, but he seems to like that position. He went right back to it and gave him his other arm.
It's a very comfortable place for him, but, you know, he just like to throw some bombs once he's free.
Yeah, and unfortunately here in this show, you can't stand and strike. So, you know, Dave saw you said admonishing him, letting him know that you can't strike from there. So he went back down to his knee, and now finally comes out to side mount position is a much better place for him.
I'm not sure right now if he's actually getting these positions on purpose, but he's doing a great job.
Well, and again, a lot of that has to do with just being an athlete and you know, kind of understanding where your hips should be. So I think you're right. I'm not really so sure that he understands where he's going, but he has certainly done some of the right things here so far. Now finds himself in a very typical wrestler position with a head and an arm out to the side.
He's just gonna, this is parking lot 1-1 right here.
Absolutely, and this is not comfortable. You shouldn't get a tap from this, but it's not comfortable to be the guy underneath there getting your head pinched off like that. But he's doing the right thing here, trying to come parallel with him and get his hips behind him, trying to roll him.
This late in the round right now, you know, you can kind of breathe somebody out if their conditioning's not great. We'll see what happens here.
You sure can. Doesn't look like that's going to happen in this case. And in fact,
it looks
as though Lance Snider was able to get a reversal and finds himself in mount position again.
Change positions.
Nice, and he's trapping the arm, and this is going to be one of those rounds that are very, very difficult to score because you can see both guys have been in very dominant positions for short periods of time throughout the round.
A little high up there, can't get that mount.
Well, he's keeping that arm, and, you know, I think he's in good shape here if he just continues to strike, but, well, he lost position there again with about 3 seconds left.
Winds in, but leaves his head in.
The winds in triangle. And
just saved by that bell.
Great round, round. I think that's a toss-up, you know, and Lance Snider had Tim Lund in trouble a couple of times. I might give him that round.
Yeah, I'd give him that round too. You know, once again, you know, he was saved by Dave. Dave's very quick on getting to that bell.
Very good. So round number 1 in the books, and you see an old face that we haven't seen in a little while. Lance Gorman working the corner of Lance Snider, and that tells me a lot about that kid. He should have some pretty good ground game.
Yeah, let's see what happens in this next round here. Both of them look like they have some good conditioning.
All right, here we go. Touch of the glove, sort of.
Let's feel each other out.
Round number 2, big left hand landing there by Lance Snider.
Wild right coming over by.
Couple leg kicks there, and they leave it a little to desire in terms of their kicking abilities, but both guys have landed some pretty big punches.
Absolutely, Mike. You know, we're feeling each other out a little bit long here. It looks like we're trying to get our win, and we're going for a high kick, huh?
Well, some of this has to do with, gosh, man, I'm a little tired from that first round. Let's take it a little bit slower this round.
They already saw what they can both do on the ground, you know, reversals and all. They've put themselves in position both times each.
You know, Dave Sully said, I guess that's kind of, you know, he didn't want a standing man striking it down upon him, but he just kind of touched his knee momentarily. Dave right on top of things. And that was kind of an interesting...
So he's just going to yank his arm off instead.
Yeah, I don't really need a no submission. I'm just going to rip this arm right off your shoulder.
He might be working up Kimura right here.
He's working toward one, but
yeah,
I don't know that he's going to get it.
Well, he's pushing that.
That definitely doesn't look comfortable, that's for sure.
Might try to get himself in a position where he can wrap around and get an arm bar.
Or he's just trying to rip that arm off his shoulder. I think it's more of an accurate assessment. Both these guys very evenly matched, you know, as we kind of predicted when they were nosing up to one another. Physically very similar, but you can see right here, skill-wise they're very similar as well. You see both guys, they have a basic general knowledge of things. They both have good hips. You can tell they have a wrestling background, but position and some of the fundamentals of ground fighting, both of them have a little bit to learn.
You see them giving up the mount quite a bit in this, but it seems like it doesn't really pay off.
Well, the problem is I don't know that these guys really know what to do once they're there. I think their understanding, again, is very fundamental, but you can't teach what these guys have. They have, both are in pretty good shape, you know, and they have just that kind of warrior spirit.
Absolutely. You can tell that they've gone many rounds on a mat.
Well, they've certainly done that, you know. Unfortunately, you know, you've got arms isolated. You just really don't know how to finish the fight. But, you know, I expect to see the next time either one of these guys get in here, we'll probably see a vast improvement in their game in that regard, because now they can kind of see where their shortcomings are.
It's nice to look back on your tape and, you know, see where you should have dropped an elbow. Absolutely.
Yeah, this first fight is 90% of it is just like, man, just getting over the lights, the cameras, you know, the crowd, all that. So if you can get past it and you can be successful, or get past it and just say, look, I learned some things, then you're ahead of the game.
So what you're saying is we're kind of teachers in a sense.
In a sense, I would be like a Miyagi-ish.
You would.
Kind of, yeah.
No, I'd be waxing on pretty much.
You would be doing a lot of waxing. Yeah. Wow, big right hand, and that's a game changer right there. Yeah. I think, you know, round number 2 is also very competitive, but I think Jared Stock being on top most of the round in that big right hand, I think that's going to get him to win here in the second round.
Yeah, he's inching ahead pretty good. We definitely have a lot of changing back and forth and positioning.
And then a near attempt of a submission right there. I have it on a very unofficial scorecard, 1 round apiece with 2 rounds in the book. Both these guys going back to their corners, and really, let's see what their corners can do in terms of giving them the right kind of advice to come out here for round number 3. And round number 3, after we're done looking at this beautiful little thing, we'll be here when we come back.
All right.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. If you're just joining us, you missed a pretty good first two rounds between Lance Snider and Jared Stock, and both of us agreed, Gary, that it's a round apiece going into round number 3.
That's right, Mike. Jared Stock's keeping his head up quite a bit. You know, he's covering his chin good, though.
Well, that's I was going to say just the opposite. Both these guys are sticking their chins out there saying, please hit me here. Right down the pipe does Lance Snider throw a shot to Jared Stock. And really, again, this is going to be a test of wills. This third round, somebody's going to have to rise to the occasion and see if they can't pull this thing off.
Looks like Stock's trying to get his arm in there for a guillotine. He has the energy right now. I think that he can pull it off.
Well, you know, the guy that's pushing the action, in my mind, if I'm a judge, is Lance Snider. He's the one attempting the takedown here. You know, Jared Stock's going to have to do something to thwart the takedown. But, you know, it looks like Snider's done a pretty good job of getting his base spread out there. And he's got to do something here, not just kind of hang out. This will drain a lot of energy out of it, too.
He will. Need to really drag that leg and just take him.
There you go. Switch to a single and get around behind him or something. As you mentioned, you could tell that Jared Stock was trying to go for a guillotine, so you don't want to stay right in front of a guy that's attempting to do that. And it looks as though maybe Lance Snider might have run out of gas. And, well, there you go. As soon as I see that, he pops his hips up.
Well, listen, once again, we're back on the parking lot ground. You know, we have that head and that arm.
Well, you've got Lance Snider, who's inches away from taking the back of Jared Stock, and Stock had the head and was throwing some shots there. Now finally Lance Snider comes around the back and he's got his hooks in, and Jared Stock's in a lot of trouble right here.
His position is a little high right now, and you know Stock can take advantage of that.
If he does, he looks very tired and he's done anything, but he's doing a good job. He's pulling him off to the side here, and it was a great call there, Gary. Lance Snider was high, and Jared Stock, well, he kind of stopped as we started giving him credit for taking him off.
We don't have much of the back and forth as we did the first two rounds.
Oh, that's because they're tired.
Yeah, we're definitely tired. Yeah, it looks like he's going to take a little break here.
He's going to take a little nap under there. Well, you can't do that when it's a round apiece, you know, and you really got to do something here. And a lot of times the judges look at a guy that's on top and they're going to say that guy's the guy winning. So, Mr. Stock, you got to get out from underneath. And it looks like he might do that here. It's just so touch and go.
You can definitely tell that we've got some good wrestlers on the ground right now.
Well, finally, Jared Stock comes out, but he leaves that arm and head behind again, and Lance Snider's looking for a triangle. This is a close match. Somebody's got to come out here in the final 30 seconds of this match and try to win this fight.
We need some, we need to drop some bombs here. That's what we need to do. Just finish this off.
We need to do something here. You know, fatigue is really starting to set in, and you know those shots really not landing. Most of it on the arm. We've got about 10 seconds left. You know, Gary, I don't know who's going to win this fight.
You know, at this point right now, it's thrown up in the air. It's not going to be.
Both these guys going out swinging.
Yeah.
You know, you got to give them both credit to that. They both fought to the very end.
Helping each other up.
You know, this is what this sport's all about. These guys are both gentlemen here, and they're both giving each other accolades for, you know, what a hell of a fight.
Tells you once again, this is just a sport, isn't it?
It is a sport. You know, let's take a listen in here and see what the judges had to say about this event. Well, okay, well, Jared Stock coming in with the win. I'm not so sure that I 100% agree with that, but I certainly would have a hard time arguing against it as well.
Yeah, you know what, I like it exactly how he was throwing his fists a little bit better than Snider was.
Well, there you go. He threw his fists better. This post-fight interview brought to you by Batters Up. Join us each week for UCE weigh-in parties at Batters Up.
All right. Congratulations on your first fight there. First fight, and that was a heck of a battle. Very evenly matched, I thought.
Thank you.
What did you think about the fight?
I thought it was a good decision. I was surprised it was a split decision even. Like, he did a really good job. I was impressed.
You did a really good job, too. I hope it's not the last time we see you.
Definitely won't be.
All right. You fought really hard tonight, so I would never say it, but thank you for being a part of the experience. Please come back, okay?
Okay, will do. Thanks.
This post-fight interview brought to you by Impact Guns, bringing out the big guns in Salt Lake and Ogden. Buddy, you got a hell of a shiner there, man.
Hey, it happens. That's what we're here for.
Did you get that doing the backflip after?
No. He got a couple good shots on me.
You landed a little short on that backflip, though.
A little tired.
I can understand.
Yeah, it was rough, even though we're only 3 minutes.
That's what I'm telling you. That it's a lot different training and actually doing it for real, is it not?
It's very. I train hard with these guys over here. They do me a lot of work. good, awesome job, and I thank them today for helping me on.
And that's probably what gave you that edge to get through. That was a tough fight. And for your first fight coming out here and having one of those 3-rounders, man, now you've done it. You've been through the storm. So anything from here on is going to be easier. I got to tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, this was a real good time. I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to do this. And yeah, I'm ready for the next one.
Well, thanks for doing it, man. I got to tell you, I'm proud of you. Very impressed with you. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Hey, can I just give a shout out to
Yeah, you bet.
all my Talk to friends over here? About 60 people come out to watch me. And a special note to my dad's best friend and uncle to me, Jeff Combs, passed away yesterday morning. I dedicated this fight to him.
Sorry to hear that, brother. Hey, great job, man.
Thank you.
Jared Stock walking away with a big win. He brought one hell of a crowd in tonight, and they're all going back to Twila with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Gary, and he's not as good looking as you out.
No, he's not as good looking as me, but right now he does look better than the other guy, doesn't he?
He's walking away a champion. We got more of the Ultimate Combat. Stick around. It is time for your main event. It's been a great show to this point, but I'm telling you, it's just going to get better. John Kafer and Jarome Hatch coming out here to mix it up. What do you know about John Kafer?
Well, John Kafer, I know that he's a lot better looking than both of us put together.
He is that.
Military guy, you know, he's a wrestler. He fights out of this gym. He's a real scrapper. Everybody likes him.
If you see the movie Twins, he's the good-looking Arnold Schwarzenegger one, and I'm the Danny DeVito offspring on that there. But Jarome Hatch, he's a guy that just has been involved in some of the best fights in UCE history. He's just one of those guys that brings it every time, and I'm sure tonight is going to be no different. Light heavyweight nose bar. Check it out.
All right, this is a fight that's been in the making for quite some time because John Kafer has kind of made his way into the upper echelon of the light heavyweights in the state of Utah.
He sure has.
And they were in the same tournament. They were both fighting in the light heavyweight tournament last round. Both of them got defeated by Hank Weiss.
You know what? That's crazy. But what I do know is that they both look as good as you do.
Okay, 5'11", 205 is Jarome Hatch that goes by the name of Chavez.
I've been out of state, and then I got back from Arkansas, just been hanging out with the family, been doing a little bit of training, so you know, it's about time I get some training. Keep fighting all the big guys and stuff, so now it's time. You may be big, man, bigger they are, harder they fall. Just remember the iron workers pound harder. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't plan on coming out on bottom, that's for sure.
I like Chavez. He's got to work on his smack talk just a little bit, but I like the heck out of that kid.
You know what? If smack talk's what he's trying to come in here to do, I don't think he succeeds.
He's a fighter, but look at this guy. If this guy stepped into the cage and I was across from him, I would cry. I would literally cry.
Yeah, he's just a giant.
6'4", 205, and not an ounce of fat on the mercenary.
I've only really known about it for the last 2 weeks, so working on my stand-up, a lot of defense punches, so I know he's a strong swinger, so block the hit him back, seems like a good idea.
Great stretch.
Going to school full-time, looking for sponsors if anyone wants to sponsor, so we'll see about that. Well, I know he's a real aggressive, so I don't need to tell him anything. I know he's going to come at me full force, so I'm just going to bring everything I got and leave it in the cage.
Well, you know, I'm glad that John Kafer said that. I hope he does get a sponsor. This kid, if I were a sponsor out there looking at this show, I would definitely glom onto this kid. Got a tremendous upside. He's a gentleman inside and outside of the cage. And this, look at this stare down, man. This is the best we've seen in a while.
So I haven't seen a smile on his face, actually.
All right, good stuff here, man. I'm excited about this. It's your main event, folks. Dave Staley said to get these two started, and here they go.
We're going to expect some action here right off.
You know, the slight on Kafer is his stand-up isn't as good as his wrestling. He's a very good wrestler, and that's where Chavez has an advantage. He's a big, heavy-handed fighter, and, you know, if you don't move your head, he's going to pop you one.
Kafer's always talking about he needs to use his arm reach, but, you know, look at those arms. If that jab was coming at you, you wouldn't see that right across.
I don't know that Kafer should be using his reach because he's so good at wrestling. Right here is where he is strong. He gets underhooks, and once he gets his arms and hands on you, you're in vice grips there. The kid's strong as an ox.
You've had him grab you, right?
Unfortunately, I have. We grappled in class, and I couldn't move him.
Nice. But you know what, Hatch right here, he's got the attitude. He knows he wants to come in. He wants to keep this on the ground. Oh, pardon me, he wants to keep this standing up.
Well, yeah, Hatch wants to try to avoid this takedown here if at all possible. And this is the slide on Hatch. His ground isn't that well refined. He's tough. He's tough enough to get out of a lot of submissions, and he's tough enough to take a lot of punishment, but he's certainly much better offensively on his feet.
He definitely is moving. He's got a lot of good base moves, and I think that he's going to be just fine. He's going to be up here real soon.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'll tell you that Kafer's a tough guy to get out from underneath, you know, and that's just I've seen through his fights and his training. He's got such a wide base. You know, it's very difficult. Once he gets this position on you, it's hard to get out.
He also, you know, you'll see he'll be dropping some elbows here real soon. He does use those sharp elbows.
Yeah, he's certainly a very adept striker on the ground. His stand-up, again, that's where his if he has a weakness, and you look at this guy, physically he has no weaknesses, but if he has one, that would be it. And right here looking for submission, armbar, well, just missing it.
A little high on that.
Just missing it, and Chavez is pretty good at kind of flopping around and keeping you discombobulated, keep you out of your game. But look, again, I can't emphasize enough how good Kafer's base is. He's just so wide and so long. He's got those long kickstands keeping him in place.
At this point, right now, you can tell that Hatch has put some conditioning in. He's holding in there pretty much on that alone.
Well, he's just got a lot of heart. Hatch has just got a lot of heart, and you got a guy like John Kafer on top of you. It's just hard to be effective. Dave Stelly said, warning it about the downward elbow strike. That's illegal here in Utah. Knee up position right here. Kafer,
yeah, that's a heavy knee right there.
Yeah, he's very, very good right here.
Looks like we're going to go for that arm again.
No, I think Kafer's going to be content to kind of hold position and try to beat up old Jarome Hatch here.
His torso is so high there that I don't even think he can connect if he's swinging up.
Well, he's staying high, so that way Hatch can't buck him off. Yeah. So this is the right position for Kafer to be in. I think he's, this is very, very uncomfortable for the bottom man. And yeah, you're right. He could isolate an arm, and yeah, he looked like he's going for that arm bar right there. 10 seconds left.
This is some dangerous leverage.
Will he get it in time is the big question. He's in a good position to get it, but
we're running out.
He knows time is nigh, and he's just going to throw a couple shots in here to finish the round. All right, round number 1 in the books, and really that went textbook for John Kafer. He did exactly what he wanted to do right there.
Yeah, he did.
Took the fight to the ground. Now, Jarome Hatch has got to make some adjustments. He's had enough fights in his arsenal, or in his history here, that he knows what adjustments he needs to make.
Coming out swinging is what he probably plans on doing next.
He needs to stay in the center of the cage, stay off the cage so he doesn't get taken down again. And you're right, he needs to let his hands go. If you're going to wait for that big, long, strong kid across from you get off, then you're making a big mistake.
That's
right
exactly
there.
what he plans on doing. That was a great uppercut.
Yeah, that just kind of shock and overwhelm. That's a good...
get some dirty boxing in there.
Good strategy right here by Jarome Hatch.
He needs to circle around on here. I mean, there we go.
No, he's doing great. Like I said, stay away from the cage. He needs to stay out in the center. This is where John Kafer's tough. He gets underhooks on you and he can press you against the cage. He's hard to deal with. And there you go. Well, it was a flash in the pan, and Jarome Hatch, if anybody's tough enough to withstand another round underneath John Kafer, it's Jarome Hatch. But boy, that's a tall order to ask for.
If he leaves his arm open like he did in that last round, he just was saved by the bell there.
I don't think that Kafer should be going for submissions. I think he should just establish position here. As wide as his base is, I would establish and just keep throwing bombs. But, what do I know?
Well, his ground and pound has really improved. I'm sure his stand-up's going to improve as the days go on. He doesn't want to get in the ring with Hank Weiss again and just roll around.
Well, let me tell you, he is a great student. He's very, very coachable, very, very teachable, and he always wants to learn and works hard at everything he's showing. So I guarantee his stand-up's going to be very, very good in a very short period of time. And you can see that he's light years ahead of most of the guys in his weight class on the ground.
Definitely a good candidate for a good sponsor, isn't he?
Well, he certainly is, man. He's certainly got a big upside. And beautiful to boot.
He's beautiful, but he really doesn't run out of energy at all. I mean, this is a point right now where he needs to just stand up again and drop him against the fence and drop some bombs.
He's in fantastic shape. He doesn't want to kid up. That's the one spot where Jarome Hatch just came out and did have a shot at doing some damage. So just lay on him. He's way ahead on the scorecards, and I hate to say it to stall out a win, but I'd be very cautious about where I went. He is looking for a submission here, though. He's got an arm isolated and looking like he's going to go for a shoulder lock.
Looks like the same positioning that he set himself up for his last.
I think his fight's over here pretty quick. Well, maybe not. Jarome Hatch, never count Jarome Hatch out, man. The kid's got so much heart. He's got more heart than any 10 guys I know. I'd take him into a dark alley if he was on my side any day of the week, man.
Look like Hatch has taken count on his back right there on his left lats.
He's what?
Taking some body shots.
Okay. Yeah, well, John Kafer's going to know he was in a fight. There's no doubt about it. Jarome Hatch, you don't do any rounds with him without realizing, you've been mixing it up with someone. He's a tough kid. He's just one of those guys that just doesn't want to train and doesn't want to get better. He just kind of says, I'm tough enough, I don't need it.
Really like to see him get to his feet on the last part of this round, though, and come out swinging again.
It's not going to happen, buddy. I'm just telling you, it's not going to happen.
Now, you predict these fights better than anybody.
Well, it's not a prediction. It's just knowing John Kafer, he's tough to get out from underneath. He's just, and I don't know that Jarome Hatch has the tools to do so.
Well, the positioning he's in right now, he's definitely going to give up the rest of this round.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe assessment. I don't think that, with 10 seconds left, John Kafer way out on the scorecards. I mean, certainly ahead 2 rounds to nothing. You know, gosh, man.
Jarome Hatch keeping those bombs away pretty good.
Well, you know, he's defending himself. He's intelligently defending. He's not in any danger of this fight being stopped by any means, but, you know, it's been a very dominant performance on the part of John Kafer.
Really surprised to even see him sit down, man, with all the energy he has. Hatch is looking pretty worn out.
Well, yes, well, he probably should. It's a lot of work, you know, with a big guy like that on top of you. It can be very, very taxing, and it looks like we are going to see a round 3, but we're not going to see it just yet. We'll see it right after these messages. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. If you're just joining us, man, oh man, you missed a great show so far. We've had some great fights, but none better than your main event right here between Jarome Hatch and John the Mercenary Kafer. John Kafer's out ahead in this match, I think, undisputably 2 rounds to nothing. But, man, Jarome Hatch, anytime he fights, he always brings his A game.
This has been an exciting fight so far. I've really enjoyed it.
A lot of action, you know, and again, as usually you see a one-sided fight, and it's just not that entertaining, but Jarome Hatch always brings it. So, you know, he's kept the action very, very active throughout the fight.
You know, we've got a lot of, oh, that was a great block on that.
You know, and you see the crowd here is loving it, man. They're on the edges of their seats here because it has been such an action-packed fight. And when anytime you get to the 3rd round and they're still going at it like this, it says a lot about the 2 combatants.
You find a lot of people, you know, they don't want to see it go down to the ground as much. They want to see him swing it out. But there's been a lot of action when they get to the ground here.
It sure has. And Jarome Hatch learning a little bit, looking to try to pull guard rather than letting John Kafer establish position out to the side, which is what he's been very good at doing so far. But Jarome Hatch, again, you know, not really all that experienced in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you know, with the leverage and the weight on his body right now, what would you be doing in order to get out of that, Mike?
I said that in the very beginning, I'd be crying right now. If I saw John Kafer coming at me, I'd cry. And if I found him on top of me, I'd be crying even harder. I'd be looking for my teddy bear.
Is there would there be a subsidiary, maybe a...
You know, there are ways you can get out. I mean, he needs to try to pull guard and avoid being mounted right there. You know, there you go. Good job. See, this is what Jarome Hatch does. He didn't quite get the reversal, but he upsets a good fighter because he does unorthodox things, unpredictable things, but he just doesn't know how to solidify his position once he gets there.
You know, it gets to this third round and they get real sweaty. It's a lot easier for him to kind of mess up and still be okay.
Well, you know, yeah, you're right. It does allow a little bit of room for error for you. But again, you know, you look at John Kafer and how good he is with his hips and how long he is. He's just so long. It just poses such problems for a guy that's underneath him.
You know, the nice thing is he has mounted him quite a few times, but it seems like, you know, it doesn't really worry Hatch at all. He seems to get out of that easy.
Hatch always, in his mind, thinks he's winning a fight. You know, I mean, you might be on top of me, but Hatch is just that guy that he's just a fighter through and through. And well, maybe he's not thinking he's winning right now. He's taking some shots here.
It's definitely a schoolyard plague, is to always think you're, you know, winning the fight.
He's that mentality, though. He's in it, and you know, if they were to stand him up right now, it'd go right back at him again, you know, and you'd be trying to take the fight to John Kafer. But boy, you know, he's just taking some shots here, and I think you know, you hate to end a fight like this, but you know, you can't continue to let Jarome Hatch take shots like that.
You know, but it's very entertaining. It seems like he's also being, you know, kind of merciful right now.
Well, I think that's a tap. Well, it could have been a tap. Either that or he just got hit hard enough that his arm flinched on him. But, you know, the mercenary isn't being merciful, actually. He's landed a lot of shots there. It looks like we're going to see a judge's scorecard, which, you know, I mean, entertaining fight, no doubt about it.
Up until the end, for sure.
And that's going to be it. Jarome Hatch survives, but I think that's the best you can say that he did in this fight.
The mercenary steps back and kind of looks at his word, didn't he?
He did. He kind of looked back and said, you know, I did get it. John Kafer, no doubt, is going to be the victor here in this fight. But, you know, moral victories, yeah. You know, I think Jarome Hatch came out and did what Jarome Hatch does. He came out in true warrior fashion, fought his butt off. But
both look great.
Let's hear what the judge had to say here. No doubt there, you know, the mercenary coming in with a big win. And, boy, I'm telling you, sponsors, grab hold of this guy while you still can. Look at that white shirt there. There should be logos all over.
Look at that. But I think he's making a statement there. It's completely blank.
Bring me some logos, my man. Very impressive. Have your custom website designed for only $399 at www.399designs.com.
All right, Jarome, we haven't seen you in a little while. Where you been and what happened?
Well, I've been in Arkansas working, coming back and forth, you know, had my son. He'll be 1 on the 3rd, so happy birthday, little one. And I don't know, I've just been working and hanging out with the family, being Mr. Mom, like I said before. And I mean, I've only been training a month, so, you know, I try to see what I can do. You know, I finally was like, all right, well, I better get some training. So now that I am, and I thought he'd stand and bang with me, but I guess he didn't. So, but he did a hell of a job. I'm not taking anything from him. He's a tough kid. I'll like to see him down the road a little bit. So, but like I said, I don't think I did too bad on the ground, but he's just too much, but he's big. I'm dropping down to 185 to eliminate that factor. So, it's happened on the last 2 fights. They're just huge.
Yeah, well, you know what, Jarome, you have been here forever, and we've always said we would love to see what happens with you if you get training, and now you're going to be, so you're already tough, so it can only get better, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I said before, bigger they are, harder they fall. Thought I had him with that one, but he did a hell of a job, so I'm not taking anything from him. We'll see how much longer, you know, I get training going, and I'll see you guys up here soon. So
cool. You know, we always love you here, so we're always happy to have you anytime you come back. So thank you for being here, and anybody you need to thank?
Yes, my sponsors, Bleed Out, over there in the corner. They're a hell of a guy, Jason is. Anybody gets an opportunity to seize them, get a shirt. He's a hell of a guy. So go out and support the sport, and also the sponsors that make it possible for the fighters to come in and do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jarome. We'll see you next time, okay?
Well, thank you. See you guys.
See ya.
This post-fight interview brought to you by Topform for all your nutritional needs. Check them out online at mytopform.com. Big John Kafer, very, very impressive performance. Jarome Hatch, tough kid. You made it look pretty easy tonight.
Yeah, well, my main thing coming in here was don't get caught on those haymakers. I know he loves to throw them. I kept my hands up as good as I could, and I kept the fight as close as I can. I knew what to do with him.
And you did. You kind of dictated the pace and the tone of the fight. Your takedowns were just too much for him, and you got dominant position throughout the fight, and I think that was the difference.
Yeah, I know that's the thing that won the fight. I want to come back, and I want to impress some people with my stand-up, so it's definitely something I need to do. Getting a fight like this where I get punched a few times, maybe knock some sense into me.
You know, and we were talking a minute ago, you were not real happy with your last performance in the cage, and you vindicated that a little bit tonight. It was a great comeback fight for you. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, my last fight, I don't know what my problem was. He was the first fighter, shouldn't have been that hard. He was winded, but I performed horribly. So today, my main thing was be aggressive. Don't wait for him to come to me. So, I mean, he took a swing, and then I grabbed him, and I knew I had to set the pace to redeem myself on that last one.
That's the bottom line, John. You have, I mean, people that have grappled with you, they talk about how just phenomenally strong you are. Once you get somebody in your clutches, that's pretty much it for them.
Yeah, I know that's my strength. I just would like to go somewhere in this sport. You gotta go for new horizons, better yourself at everything. So, fight like this, I know I got to get better.
All right, John Kafer, I got to tell you, very impressive tonight. Great job tonight. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see what's next at the Mercenary.
Yeah, I'll definitely come back. Still got some time on my contract. I'm definitely going to be around.
All right, brother, looking forward to it. Great job tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Big John Kafer showing that he is a force to be reckoned with in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah, he really shined this time. He was like the Terminator. I'll be back. He was back, that's for sure.
And he'll be back many, many times, I'm sure. Speaking of back, got your back, Gary. I'm glad to have you along board tonight, and you did a great job for your first time.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, it's not like the first time I've had this microphone on my face, but first time I haven't had you saying, get the hell off of it.
That is absolutely true. For Got Your Back, Gary, I'm Mike Stin. We'll see you next week on the Ultimate Combat Experience.